What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sits with Sid. I am so happy that you're here. I'm happy that I am here, okay? I was just saying how long of a month August was, but also like how busy it was. And then as I sit and reflect, I'm like, I feel like the whole year has just been that way, and every single month I say the same thing. So, I just wanted to be completely real. Let's just have like a catch up situation. I made a post today asking about what you guys were wanting to know, what kind of YouTube topics that you're interested in, and honestly, the feedback around like mental health, learning how to live life, as a former addict, or having a parent who is battling addiction and what that looks like for your family. Parenthood, getting through the day when you are in a lot of pain and all you want to do is lay down because of that fatigue, and then having brain fog, going to work, all of these things. And I just started getting so riled up because I can relate so hard to all of those. And I know that there is not only a resource out there for so many of those questions, but also things that are in the works that I know are happening. So I just wanted to take time to kind of just explain to you guys a little bit about my advocacy and what that means behind the scenes. I know sometimes people can see that it's like, oh, she's just going on another trip. But I want you to also know that I don't take lightly being away from my family. Being able to travel is a huge blessing that I never thought would ever be available to me. I grew up in a small town. My parents, my mom was a single mom until I was in like fourth grade, and that's when she got with my dad. And then it was not the best marriage, but we are thankful for all the good things that came out of that. And so I didn't grow up knowing that it was okay to have big dreams. Of course, my mom told me to dream big, but when that's not the reality that you see every day, you begin to doubt yourself. And so I never thought that I would be the kind of person to do what I do today. And I think that's why I've struggled in this season so deeply with imposter syndrome, because when you don't have the perfect body and you don't have the perfect family and you don't come from this perfect, picture perfect lifestyle, you begin to believe that more is not out there for you and that you are always going to be in survival mode. And I think within the last year of my life, God has really taken some of that load off of me, and I don't know what to do with that. Sometimes it's like I'm looking for more trauma, or maybe he's making room for me to work through other traumas. I really don't know. But in being able to travel, in being able to share my story, in being able to know that my story is not only helping patients, other people like me who know that they're not alone, but dermatologists, be the honor to go speak to dermatologists. And I'm like, what the heck do they want to talk to me about? And it's like, they just want to hear my story. And so there's power not only in my story, but in your story too. And I think that's what makes this thing work for me, is that I don't really know what I'm doing because I'm just sharing my life with you guys. I'm trying to keep it as real as I can while also having respectful boundaries for myself and my family, because there's certain things that I know I can come on here and I could be like trying to give y'all the tea when really that could be hard mentally on somebody in my family. So I always try to be aware of that. But all of that to say is, like, I didn't think that I was the person who can do what I do for you all, let alone like heal those parts of myself. I thought my HS was always going to be my dirty little secret. Whatever sexual partners came to think about me after our time wasn't my business. I just felt lucky enough to for them to want to smash. Like, that was literally my mindset as a teenager and in my young adulthood before I had met my husband. And so I had to work through all of those things, being in addiction because my home life wasn't good. I couldn't wait to move out when I was 18, but then I ended up becoming a teen mom. So it was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? My parents were always driving me crazy. So much problems, just like Black childhood trauma, there's a lot. And so there was a lot that I had been running from, that I was ready to go to college and run away. And then my whole life kind of pivoted when I got those positive pregnancy tests as a 17-year-old girl in high school. It was like, whoa. And like, I didn't have the standard situation of like, oh, this girl got pregnant and her baby daddy, like, I'm being completely honest with you guys. I was so off my rocker as that at that age. Like, I literally think back and I just try to pray that I'm doing a good job as a mom to where my daughter never feels like she needs to go seek validation like I did at that age, because the things that I was doing, and then ending up pregnant, baby daddy out here like, I am not the baby daddy, like, and he had every right to feel that way. I'll just say that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, like, I'm in this on my own. My parents were supportive as I was pregnant, but like, that didn't stop them from having marital problems, you know what I'm saying? So I had that weight of being a teen mom. I was already working full-time jobs before I even got pregnant. I worked at Dairy Queen, and then my parents were like, you need to just focus on school. Played volleyball until I was 17 weeks pregnant in high school, and then that was like the end of my athletic career, but I had played sports since third grade. That's why I always think it's interesting that I didn't get diagnosed until I was a senior in high school. Yeah, I played sports every single year, had to get a physical every single year, yet still went undiagnosed with hidradenitis suppurativa. So I think doctors also see that missing puzzle piece of like, why did your physician not ask you that? Like, why did your primary care doctor not ask you? But there's no questions that incline them for you to think, hey, let me tell you about what's going on with my skin, at least for me. And so that's why I say there's power in your story. Your story's not going to be perfect. I don't like coming on here and like, well, I do like trauma dumping. In a sense, it feels like better for me because I'm like, oh, I got that off my chest. Like, and you have to be willing to take the heat on these here internets, okay? Because people will judge you. We are called to share our story, to share our testimony, whether that's online, in person, day to day. Go help somebody, share a little piece. I used to love when adults did that to me in a relatable way when I was a kid, and like, they would share a part of their story, you'd get perspective. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, aha. And sometimes you didn't realize when people are doing, they just bring little nuggets. You know, it's called wisdom. People are trying to share their wisdom with you. And so there's so much power in your story, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, being a teen mom, that really changed the whole trajectory of my life. And I had to figure it out from then. And I messed up. After I got diagnosed with hidradenitis suppurativa, my mental health was like, whew. I was happy it wasn't an STD, but I was like, there was no treatment options available for me at the time. There was like, Hibiclins is what they offered me. He didn't even really give me like a follow-up date. So I still was going to the emergency room after getting diagnosed, getting incision and drainages, which now I know have a 100% recurrence rate. So obviously not the best line of treatment. We're basically just buying ourselves time, and that's why we're trying to get educational information out there for clinicians and physicians so that they know, let's not do an IND, let's do a de-roofing instead. It's much more effective. It's easy, still could be done in the ER or even in your dermatologist office. So it's just, once you know these things, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to share this with everybody. And like, I know I've done a really poor job, I feel, at like taking the information that I get access to and turning it into content. But it's because like, I think for myself especially, it's just been so healing for me. Like, in it, like I'm in it. Like, as a patient, I have never felt so inspired while also still like hopelessly living with this disease, if that makes any sense. So I think I've just been taking that all in, but I need to share the hope, I need to share the wisdom, because there are so many dermatologists out there who are freaking specialized in HS, who care so much about your mental health, who never would say it's because you're overweight and you need to stop smoking. They are always willing to tell you like how it is, but also in a way of like not shaming you, because there's no reason why this disease is your fault. You need to take that burden off of your shoulders right now, because not one thing that you did is like, that's why she has hidradenitis suppurativa. They don't know. So all we can do is learn more about it. And as we do, if there's things that we're ready to take effect of into our life to make sure our life with HS is a little bit easier. Like, I know I was super anti-medication before becoming an advocate because I didn't know about medication. All I knew was scary side effects and black box labels, and there's not enough data. Like, that's all I knew. And there's a fear mongering is the real thing about the doctor in the Black community. So like I did not know until I started learning more, until I was talking to dermatologists, talking about the benefits. And at the end of the day, sometimes it just boils down to what if it works, what if it doesn't? But like what if it does? You know what I'm saying? What if you do get a little bit of relief? What if it does take your pain down a notch? What if you do get fewer flares? And I don't know about you, that may not be a cure, but that's enough for me. And that's why I have been using things like my Magic Killer for the last 2.5, almost 3 years, because it works for me. It's manageable. If it was any other topical, I would be used like I don't have insurance right now, so it's the most manageable thing that I can do. But I also can say to people with no insurance that there are programs out there within these pharmaceutical companies to help you with your copay or to help you get the medication at, the most effective cost for you. So there are programs out there and things, benefits for that, for people who are ready to take that step with medication. And believe me when I say it's not an easy step to take. So make sure that you're getting, educated on the topic and you're making shared decisions with your dermatologist. And if you're not seeing a dermatologist, you need to call one and try to get scheduled. Even if you have to see your primary first so you can get the referral, it's time to take that step, my friend, okay? If you think something is going on with your skin, if you think you may have HS, then it's time to schedule the appointment, okay? And know that you can always share my content with them and say, this is what I think I have. This word is hard to pronounce. It's okay. And then show them your skin. Don't just show them I have it in this area, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. And I think after these appointments, sometimes you may feel a little violated because now they have seen that most intimate part of you for one. That's always hard. But to have scars or drainage and bandages, like that's another blow. So it's okay to take a moment after and say, that was a hard thing that I just did. Take that in, we have to sit with the fact that we live with a chronic disease and that it's fucking hard. It really is. There's no handbook out here for how to live with HS. We're all literally just doing the best that we can, patients and the physicians. So it takes two to tango in the patient world of living with HS. It takes actually more than two. I can't wait until people have solid medical teams where their OBs know about their HS, their primary care knows, their dermatologist knows, everybody should know, their mental health specialist knows. I know that was a huge question on my status today, was like, what mental health resources are out there? And I know we have the Healing Space with HS Connect by Kara is coming soon, I think later this month, but season 1 is already out there, is a huge mental health resource for patients living with HS, and there's more to come, things like art therapy, music therapy. I know some people prefer to journal and just like keep it cute, keep it quiet, you know what I'm saying? But different ways that you can get that off of your chest. We are working on finding a tool and resource to locate any therapists across the nation who are familiar with HS and how we can get them to start having that conversation. That way they know with context of how hard this disease is, and then they can better suit and guide patients who are coming to see them because they understand the real life of living with it. So there are huge things in the making. I know the next time you can see me IRL, I feel so cool like saying all the other little lang, these kids I feel like Regina George's mom. I'm like, oh, girls, you keep me young. But you can see me soon in Nashville. I will be in Nashville for the Empower workshop with HS Connect. This is like a patient workshop, you guys. It's patient focused, patient led. We are so excited to see you in Nashville. I personally have never been, so please believe me when I say my cowgirl boots are already out. Like, I literally cannot wait to pack them. I'm like, do I wear them to the airport? Josh is like, please be for real. But I'm so serious. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be amazing. There's going to be dermatologists. There's going to be nutritionists. There's going to be it's going to be so freaking amazing. And of course, there's going to be the opportunity for you to communicate and network with other patients. And I think that is the real aha moment, when you can have a raw, real face-to-face conversation with somebody who has firsthand experienced your trauma like you with living with HS. You're literally like besties for the resties. There's nothing like it. I cannot wait for you to experience it firsthand. So it is a completely free event. You do have to pay for registration like at time of signing up, but you get reimbursed, I think, on day 2. So you should be getting reimbursed before you even leave. So we love that. It's also going to be virtual. It's 2 days, November 2nd through the 4th. We literally cannot wait to see you. I can't wait to see you and just hug and love on all of you. But that's where you can catch me next in real life. I'll also be on a board in Times Square. I'm literally counting down the days. I think we're at like 32 days now. In October, we're going to New York. We are going with HS Connect. They have a campaign launching, and I am honored to be a part of it. So we see you, we get you, we got you. I cannot wait for you guys to find us there, but it's going to be so exciting. So I will say no more, but I love you so, 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 so much, and I missed having these kind of conversations with you. Like I said, this is not only beneficial to you, but it just helps me too in such a way. So I can't wait to get together again. I'm going to curate like a little board with some of these ideas. I want to be able to keep a little mix up, you know, let's have a heavy topic one day. Let's keep it cute and light the next day. Just for the sake of mental health and balance for myself. I'm just keeping it real. So I love you. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you guys have the most blessed day.